Ever since my brother started at the Latin school, with all those sons of French officers and Flemish factory owners, he really thinks he's somebody. Whenever he's home on holiday, he parades around Ghent in his school uniform, as proud as Charles V's cat. Of course, he thinks he's way too important to help me with the laundry. This morning, he made sure to attend the second mass, that wafer-swallowing dolt, just to get out of helping me with the wash. By the time he gets home from church, it's already 10 o'clock. He shows up with a prayer book under his arm and a look of devotion on his face that reminds me of a simpleton or an old nun. It took him half a year to find his way home from the cathedral. But I waited for him. I wasn't about to lug all that laundry down to the river by myself. Was there a long line for confession or something? I ask. He gazes at me as if there's a halo over his head. I have nothing to confess, he says. Laundry is your job, not mine. No way, church mouse, I say. When you're home from your stupid school, you help me with the laundry. I've already lifted one end of the basket. Pieter takes his time neatly arranging all his church paraphernalia on the proper sideboard shelf in the dining room. When he finally returns to the basket, the reluctance is practically dripping off his shoulders. Together, we lift the heavy basket off the table. You're not going out like that, a voice behind me says. Mother stomps into the room in her wooden clogs. I try to look as innocent as possible. What's wrong? My skirts are down to my ankles, my white blouse is buttoned up to my neck, and my hair is neatly braided. Where's your bonnet? She plucks that awful hat with the round brim from the hook under the shelf, pushes it down on my head, and stuffs my braid up into it. I can no longer look from side to side, but at least my blessed face is now completely concealed from the prying eyes of young men. Mother ties the wide ribbons under my chin so tightly, you'd think it were some kind of war helmet to protect my virginity. Ow, not so tight, I say. Don't whine, Constance, she says. These bonnets are all the rage in Paris. Yeah, I reply, back when Grandma still had her baby teeth. Mother ignores the comment and turns to my brother. Pieter, keep an eye on your sister. You can count on me, says Pope Pieter the Pious. Pieter and I lug the basket down the street with the tall pile of laundry bouncing back and forth between us. We're careful not to walk too fast as not to drop any shirts or socks along the way. It's cold. There's smoke rising from the chimneys, and the streets are all but deserted. A couple of boys, covered in soot, are hauling bags of coal from door to door. Down on the quays of the Vive Canal are two floating platforms where women and housemaids scrub the laundry with lumps of hard white soap. In the mornings, you could smell the fresh scent from miles away, and the dark water is covered in a blanket of white foam. The Vive must have the cleanest fish in all of Ghent. Pieter and I walk across the first raft to the second, where there is still plenty of room. We set down the basket. Most of the women here are maids for wealthy families, but my mother doesn't need a maid. She has me.